An easy play. Fresh dress, living large, German whips in my garage. Most my partners called the charge for all this love break out the bars. Fresh dress, living large, German whips in
Here's
my
Messi.
garage.
Away from 2, 3, 4. Wonderful.
Rockin'. These chicks be flocking.
All right, guys, you're here with us at Your Fielder's Choice. We have our Wednesday night stream preparing for our Thursday slate, guys. We're bringing in some team members here. Hopefully, we can catch you guys tonight live on Twitch. If not, we can catch you on your drive to work or just starting your day off with your beverage of choice. And we have our YFC guys here. We have Devin, Pete, Walt, man. I appreciate you guys joining me. We're going to take you off mute here and tell us, man, how's everybody doing tonight?
Doing well. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. Walt, how you doing, brother?
Excellent. Sweating some WNBA, getting ready for some late night LOL, you know.
There you go,
grinding
man.
away. The man never
Awesome,
sleeps, as they say.
That's it, man. Pete, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. Just watching MLB right now.
Yeah? All right. I hope that's going good for you, man. You're wearing your Bad Luck Juventus shirt? That's not good. Hey, man, it's good having you guys in. I appreciate y'all joining us. We're going to be having, members jump on our live stream all night long. One cool thing that we are doing here at yourfielderschoice.com is we really want to give a little bit back to bringing in new members. And if you're not currently with us right now, we do have a promotion on your first 3 months. You're going to get a 20% off discount. And that is for your premium subscription. It's normally $50. You're only going to be paying $40 for your first 3 months. That gives you access to all sports. If you checked out the DFS landscape, you will know that $40 can barely buy you a single sport package with a lot of these other companies. So we want to provide value now to get in here essentially on the ground floor because we're taking off and we want you a part of that. So that's yourfielderschoice.com. And as you know, we do have a Discord. We've talked about it a lot on our website. There is a link on there as well. With the Discord, we're going to talk a little bit about that throughout, but it is going to be an essential thing for you to be able to see content when it's released, have interactions with our coaches, being able to access them in real time. Like I said, if a coach available for a lead sport is not currently on, there will be somebody be able to jump in because we do play different sports. We all, kind of overlap there. So it is a tool available for you at yourfielderschoice.com. You're going to see the video showing you a little bit of our content, what that looks like, our cheat sheets. I mean, the website is absolutely clean. So be sure to check us out. And at that Discord, it is free. You don't have to be a premium member. You can just jump in for free. Premium gives you access to a few more channels, but our prize picks, wagering, there's a lot of stuff that is available to everybody on free Discord. So please jump in with us at yourfielderschoice.com. With that, I want to talk real quick. We do have an affiliate that we're extremely happy to be partnered with right now, Prize Picks. They're growing, one of the fastest growing DFS companies out there right now. With Prize Picks, we currently have a deposit code. It's code YFC. You're going to get a 25% deposit match, and that is up to $1,000. So you put in $4,000, you get $1,000 free. These guys constantly have promos going. They're giving you free bets, 3-pick entries. I know today they hit me up for some stuff for reviewing them. Sometimes they're going to give you free pick entries. So this is an affiliate to get on board with here at YFC. Code YFC for your 25% deposit. And with that kind of segueing, I'd like to bring in my man Devin here. He's filling in here as our head NBA lead, and he's going to talk a little bit about the NBA, the playoff bubble. I know a lot of you guys currently playing with us here at YFC. You're seeing a lot of different showdowns and main slates going on, a lot of stuff, late news, lineup news, and there's a lot, man, going on. So Devin's here to kind of navigate us through that. Devin, man, I appreciate you jumping on with us. Tell me a little bit about an NBA, man, and how are you this evening?
I'm doing well, man. So NBA's been off to a roaring start. Game one we had Donovan Mitchell go just nuts, and then the next day we had just a ridiculously good game between the Lakers and Blazers last night. So it's been really fun. Today's the action's still rolling. We got Luka about to start, so it's been fun. And then tomorrow is another just absolutely star-studded, loaded slate.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so with the playoff bubble, and I know obviously kind of jumping in, we get a lot of these high priced guys. I feel like the algorithms for DK and FanDuel are constantly trying to change. They're trying to keep up with minutes and pace. And there's a lot to target for NBA. I personally love playing NBA. I think it's one of those sports that you can sweat in multiple different ways. But one of the cool things is that you can follow certain things and things like game totals, game pace, over unders, risk of blowouts. And I kind of want to talk about that because I want to talk a little bit about your cheat sheet. I know that's something that does come out daily for multiple sports, but in regards to specifically just NBA, walk me through that about how the cheat sheet works and what I can do if I'm a DFS player and I want to utilize that.
Yeah, so the cheat sheet actually especially for a sport like NBA is just it's the key piece for us in terms of NBA, more so than any other sport, because I update it literally all the way up till lock. I'll update it with about 5 to 10 minutes to go. That way you're getting the latest news, projected ownership. So the cool thing about the cheat sheet is that I'm including just a ton of stuff on there. I've got your Vegas totals. I've got usage, projected minutes, projections, projected ownership, DVP. So just literally like everything you could want is all right there. And it's sorted by position, by projected ownership. So especially with the sport, so if some late news hits, you can hop on a cheat sheet and it's going to account for that. And it's really a great way to easily build NBA lineups.
Yeah. So with that, about you talked about it, how it releases and it's updated. So I guess one of the things that would be a benefit to being in our free Discord was whenever those things are updated, you are alerting people. We're able to get those, alerts on our phone, computer, whatever we're on, just to kind of see like, oh, okay, I need to probably check out to see what's changed, because NBA news constantly is changing and dropping, and it's an alternate universe in the bubble. So we got to keep up with that.
Yeah, we had the I guess it would have been about a week ago or so, the DeAndre Ayton, literally like 2 minutes before lock, it was announced that he wasn't starting. And a couple of our really good members hopped in and said, hey, Ayton's not starting. So we tagged the channel and he ended up playing, but not very much. So it ended up being a huge benefit for our members because we tagged them and let them know, hey, if you got time in these 2 minutes, get Ayton out. And, that's one of the really big benefits of being in a group like that. Is in this scenario, it was actually our members who immediately saw the news, let us know, we let everybody else know. So it really works well in that regard.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of buy-in just from the community aspect of Discord. It being something that is not only a tool, but something for people to go and just kind of, socialize. Just be like, hey, man, how's everything been? Like, you'll see people in there talking about, birthdays and all kinds of stuff. It's just something you're not going to get at a lot of places. You have access to the coaches there, where we share a little bit of our journey in DFS and, sports wagering. So, I want to shout out to all those guys that have been there from a long time, from when we integrated from Daily Fantasy Solutions, man. So that's amazing. Hey, kind of turning into tomorrow's NBA slate. Tell me a little bit about what you're focused on, some players that you're looking at.
Yeah, so tomorrow we've got multiple studs again. You've got, LeBron, Harden, Giannis, Lillard. Even the tier below that, you've got Vucevic, Paul, Butler. All of them had huge first days, and I expect them to repeat that. My personal look right now, without seeing ownership, without seeing Vegas totals, I watched that Lakers game. They played like garbage and almost won. So I expect them to bounce back in a big way. I think that LeBron and especially AD are going to have huge games. I actually expect Lillard to take a little bit of a step back.
Why is that? Why do you think that?
Well, so the thing with Lillard yesterday was he pretty much all his points were just actual real points, which for DFS doesn't translate to a ton. I think he scored like 34 real points, which for DFS real points, but LeBron scored 10 less points, but because he had all those rebounds and assists, he killed them. LeBron scored. So 10 less watching that game, Lillard really was not looking to pass a ton, and I kind of expect that to be the norm. So unless he's scoring 50, 60 points, I expect him to be more into like that 40 DFS point range. So I would rather take a guy like, like a Harden, who's going to pick up near triple-double. LeBron's going to average triple-double most likely. Giannis, AD is going to put up 30 and 15 or so.
Right.
But now to get all those guys, we're going to need some value.
Yeah.
And the sites were really aggressive about raising the prices of the guys on Tuesday who performed well. So
Yeah.
Jeff Green, for instance, was awesome. James Ennis, DJ Augustine, George Hill. Let's see who else we got. Gary Clark and Hassan Whiteside were all really good. They all returned quite a bit of value for their pricing, but all of them were hiked up a little bit. So
Right.
they're still going to be viable. One play I am keeping an eye on is Jay Crowder is questionable. If he is out, Derek Jones Jr. is going to get the bump. He's minimum priced. He's not much of a scorer, but he's just a freak athlete, so he can get rebounds, he can get blocks, he can get steals. So he really does have a pretty safe floor when he gets the minutes, just based on those peripheral stats.
Right.
So if Jay Crowder's out, I expect Derek Jones Jr. to be probably a chalk play because he's literally minimum priced. And when you have all these studs, you're gonna need a super cheap play like that.
Yeah,
so that's
agreed.
somebody I'm keeping an eye on for sure.
Yeah, and I noticed, like you said, I mean, the pricing is going to change. We're not going to get lazy algorithm pricing. They're going to adjust things, like you said, as
Yes.
people are playing. Being a huge Rockets fan, everybody's always asking me who's going to get the minutes. And honestly, D'Antoni knows. I don't know most of the time. I kind of take a risk there. I do like Eric Gordon. He's still priced below 5K. A lot of times you get these star scrubs builds where you're getting these high price players, 2 or 3 of them in there, and then you're trying to find value elsewhere. If you're getting 2 of those guys, you do have the opportunity to play a little bit more of that mid range in regards to, I would say, between that $4 and $7 range, which is, it's hard because you have to find these guys that are going to pop off. In NBA, you need at least 5 to 6x value just to kind of make them return value a lot of times. And you're looking at somebody like you said, like LeBron. He absolutely destroyed the slate, and he had, I think he was priced at 10.7 and had 73. I mean, if you're getting almost 7x with these high price players, they're going to take down GPPs because people are playing them for safety. But when you get upside with these guys, that's definitely something to target.
I mean, pretty much all your studs, in terms of looking at FanDuel pricing, even at their pricing, LeBron was 6.4 times return on FanDuel. Giannis was 5.5. They still did work for their pricing. But yeah, tomorrow's looking to be pretty tough because, like I said, the algorithms really hiked up those values that we do have on the board. So yeah, you're probably going to end up with that mid-range, and then potentially, like I said, if we get a punt open up, like a Derek Jones Jr., you're going to want to lock that in because that's probably the only way you're going to comfortably get 2 studs.
Yep. And if you're asking yourself out there, how am I going to find this out? How do I have access to this? Obviously, on our website, there's content there. If you are a premium member, you can get that for free. But being in the free Discord, again, like I said, information is key in NBA. Devin, before we jump in to WNBA with Walt, is there any last thoughts or anything in NBA in regards to things we need to look at for tomorrow?
No, the big thing is just make sure you're taking a look at our articles. Our top plays article is a good way to get a feel for the slate. Which we update that as best we can, as well as news breaks. And then, so if you start with that, get a good feel for the day, and then you use the cheat sheet and you make sure to look at it, 10 minutes before lock, 5 minutes before lock, give it a final look just to make sure, okay, does my lineup still look good? Am I missing on any chalk? Because at the end of the day, you need to nail that chalk in cash games. The whole lineup doesn't have to be chalk, but you want to nail the big time, obvious, super high owned plays, and the cheat sheet's going to help you do that. And then for your tournament builds, we have Miz matches, which Miz does. Miz is a multi-time 20K plus winner. I mean, he's an amazing tournament player. And what he's doing is he's giving you a limited player pool. So you can just concentrate on a handful of players at each position. And so make sure you check that out as well. We've seen a lot of members have a lot of success using the Miz matches for their tournament builds.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. I appreciate your time. I know you do a lot during the day, and I know being here with the chats is an added bonus, man. We appreciate you being in here. I know a lot of our longtime Discord guys appreciate the smiles that you got there, and all the hard work you've done with the cheat sheets, and obviously NHL. I know NHL is a big passion of yours, and I think we've seen some great things. And like you said, the cheat sheet is a must. I mean, if you just even get a chance to just glance at it and just see, it's color coded, easy to read. Green is good, red is bad. We make it easy for you. So check that out. We're going to close out with Devin. We appreciate you, man. We're going to actually step over to WNBA and League of Legends with Walt and Dub Deuces 85. He's going to be joining me in here from out there on the West Coast. Do I do the West Coast? Okay, I didn't know.
There we go.
There you go, man. Hey, man, it's good having you in, brother, and I appreciate you coming in and talk some WNBA with me. Talk a little bit in regards to League of Legends. So I want to jump right into it because we got two sports to cover. WNBA, you're the man with the plan. Tell me a little bit about today, a little bit of a recap, and then I know we're doing a lot with Prize Picks in regards to plays. So I want you to kind of give me the overview on WNBA, Walt.
Okay, yeah. So with WNBA, it's been good. It's been a very, very good, couple of days for us, couple of weeks. We're kind of really focusing on Prize Picks a lot more lately because it is such a, profitable type thing because you're getting so many different sports, and everybody that's an expert is giving you picks. So you can use our WNBA picks. We've been hitting at a pretty high rate. I don't have the exact percentage, but we've missed like 2 in the last, I want to say 8 or 9 picks. So not too bad. Right now we're waiting on Crystal Dangerfield. She was my main WNBA prize pick today. She was over at 22.1. On DraftKings, she's at 18.25. So on prize picks, what's it, probably like maybe 15 or 16. So pretty close. Yeah. She should hit that pretty easily, I would say. But yeah, tomorrow's slate is looking pretty good. It's another 3-gamer. Looking at it right away, the New York Liberty are on the slate. It's kind of funny because yesterday they scored 26 points at halftime against the Storm, and Devin was like, "What is that a real thing?" Yeah, it really is because the Liberty are just that bad. So for fantasy purposes, you want to definitely stack against the Liberty. One of my top plays from the slate will definitely be Courtney Vandersloot from the Chicago Sky. The main thing against the Liberty is you have to play this game of if it's a blowout, because there's this condensed schedule for the players, they're going to try to sit their main starters whenever they can. So if they run them out of the building like the Storm did by 40 at the end of the third quarter, you're not going to get a full allotment of minutes. So you really have to hope that they're going to hit their value or score a bunch in those first 3 quarters, unless the Liberty somehow keep it close, which probably won't happen. But Vandersloot, she's priced a little too low at 10.2 on DraftKings. She's jumped back up from the 9.4 that she was, but anytime she's below like 10.5, she's a really strong play. She has an actual 39% assist rate. She scores a lot. She takes 9 to 10 shots, but her assist rate is just crazy. She had 15 assists last game. She had 9 at halftime.
It's crazy.
She's a catalyst for this team. The Allie Quigley and Diamond DeShields are names that people that follow the sport know from last season, but they're not having quite as good of a year. Vandersloot's been really, kind of carrying the team on her back. So she's going to definitely be the number 1 play of the slate for tomorrow.
Looks like she's shooting a lot more too. I was just kind of looking at some of her logs, just attempt wise. It seems like she's one of those, if she's starting to shoot bad or coming out the gates a little cold, you see, maybe her rely a little bit more on her distribution, which is good for us for fantasy, like you said, because if you're playing a score like I know Devin was talking about Dame Lillard, and if this guy's just scoring points, what happens if he goes cold? Then you're dead. I mean, you got to get these peripheral scores, assists, rebounds, steals. I mean, things like steals and blocks, they're not always going to be something that's going to be as consistent, but you can pretty much guarantee assists and rebounds are going to be the players.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's, because of the fact that Diamond DeShields, who was a damn near 20 point per game scorer last year, she's been dealing with an injury coming off the bench. So that's a pretty big, that's at least like 10 to 12 shots that just aren't happening on a consistent basis. So she's been having to pick up that extra offense. So moving on to the Seattle game here, kind of starts and stops with Brianna Stewart, usually for the Storm. But I do want to talk about Natasha Howard, who was the star for this team, the reigning defensive player of the year. Stewart was out with an ACL tear last year, so Howard was the main player, scoring like 30 to 40 fantasy points per game. It's been an adjustment for her with Stewart back and Sue Bird, who was out all of last year with an injury as well. They're kind of an older veteran. So Howard has had to, play third or fourth fiddle now, which was an adjustment for her. We've kind of all been waiting for her to kind of blast off and figure it out, which has happened. The last two games, she's hit over 30 fantasy points, double-digit rebounds, actually 2 double-doubles back-to-back. And she can do that in just 15 to 20 minutes. You see the Liberty game there. She played only 15 minutes and had 31 fantasy points. She's not going to see more than 18 to 22 on a normal basis just because the Storm are so deep and they seem to
Right.
kind of kick the crap out of teams more often than they don't.
Right.
But she's one of those players because of her blocks, steals, her tough defense, rebounds, stuff like that. That's usually going to produce. She has a high number of fantasy points per minute to make her safe. So she's kind of the other block play for me. I usually list a core in my article, which the third one, you guys will have to read it to get that. But I'll give you the first two there with Natasha Howard and Courtney Vandersloot definitely being the locks of the slate, if you will.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So just rounding out, kind of talking, in WNBA, I know you have your content that drops. Obviously, there's prize picks available in the prize picks articles, but you have stuff in yours as well. WNBA tomorrow, what can we expect in regards to lineup building? Are you going star scrubs? Do you have any, plays that you're like, are you playing Vandersloot no matter what? Is that where you're at right now?
Pretty much, yeah. I'm going to start with Vandersloot and Howard. Usually the WNBA strat is really to try to just throw in a punt. Like today, there was a really strong punt, and unfortunately, I missed it because I had to work a regular job today. But Stella Johnson for Washington Mystics was only 4K. She just signed with them, and she was announced starting like 2 minutes to lock. And like I said, I missed it. She ended up getting 34 fantasy points. So if you get a punt like that, of course, that's a slam dunk, but you're not always going to have that. So normally you just throw a 4 or 5K person out there, hope they get 10, and then you've got Stewart, Asia Wilson, all these high scorers. Today was really more balanced because I missed that and there wasn't any value on the slate, which is working out. So I'm starting to shift focus a little bit more personally to a balanced lineup. And looking at the salaries for tomorrow, there's not a ton of slam dunk value on the board, but there is some decent 6 to 7K players. So I'm probably going to try to lean more towards a balanced lineup. But Vandersloot and Howard will definitely kind of, lead my team, and then I'll look around. Like for example, Julie Alleman for Indiana has been a good play. Allie Quigley's been somebody we've talked about. These are all players that are in that 6 to 7K range. So I'll definitely highlight those in my article. I usually list for both sites because we do have a pretty big conglomerate of people who play FanDuel now, which, we do a lot of heavy DraftKings stuff, but we definitely have to recognize our FanDuel players. And FanDuel's been pretty soft lately, it seems like. So I definitely list a core for FanDuel and DraftKings. I list draft picks or prize picks. And then I just go game by game and put in different blurbs. So pretty healthy amount of content in those articles. And a lot of sites, I won't name them, but a lot of sites are starting to pull back for whatever reason their WNBA content. So there's some bigger sites out there that just aren't doing anything for it now.
Yeah, it's time to make money then. Yeah, I was gonna say, that's right. I was gonna say if you're not on it right now, like while there's edge, I find that a lot. That's me and you are both EuroLeague basketball players. We love playing just because there's edge if you have information. Information is king in that sport. And so WNBA, very similar to that. So our free Discord, just check them out. Dub Deuces 85. There's a WNBA room. In addition to the premium channel, you can find him in there. Just send him a message, add him if you have any questions on there. But this content is available on our website. And it is not just I'm going to pick a few people. He's actually going to explain this similar to kind of like how I would do a soccer breakdown. But you're actually like writing this stuff out. And like we have a little bit of insight. This is going to make us better players in the long run. And that's kind of, where we lean. Eventually a lot of our guys, they're going to be around, but we want them to be better on their own too, because, ultimately, man, we're going to be bosses someday in this company and we got to have people work for us. I mean, that's the reality of it. So I know Devin's listening to me out there and he knows what I'm talking about. So I want to transition into that, man. We're going to go a little bit of League of Legends talk. In regards to League of Legends, I know we have a couple of slates on deck. We have a 4 a.m. slate with LCK, and then we have a 4 p.m. slate that's a dual 3 gamers. So tell me a little bit about League of Legends and what we can expect.
Yeah, so I'll have, after the show ends, I'll have a content up tonight for within the hour for LCK. So that's the 2-game slate that's going to be happening soonest. That'll be the normal game by game breakdown that I do, list my plays, and then there'll be a cheat sheet / statistics that come out. And then tomorrow morning there'll be the LEC and LCS combos slate content. So LEC starting their playoffs tomorrow now, so that'll be going on. LEC is a pretty fun one. But yeah, for tonight's LCK, there's some really good matchups, man. You're gonna have to come back and play. I don't know your time wise. You usually can only play on Mondays, you were saying, but Damwon Gaming versus T1 today, and Africa versus KT Rolster, which both those teams are battling for the last playoff spot in the LCK. So the winner of that one's really gonna solidify their seed and take basically it's a winner goes on and loser goes home type of situation.
Sure.
And then T1 with Damwon. Damwon's an exciting fantasy team. They Showmaker is one of our favorites here at the show. Looking at him, he's got 147 kills this split, 25% kill share, 71% KP rate. Just a really strong mid laner. He's fallen behind BDD in the MVP race, but I don't think that really matters. They've kind of taken their foot off the gas the last couple of matches and haven't put up a lot of fantasy points. I don't know if that's going to get people off them. They're usually pretty chalky. But facing T1, I think that you're going to see, their best. This is going to be a playoff type preview matchup, and you should see, some pretty high level League of Legends. So
yeah, is it closer on the other side still?
Yeah,
is it closer
they're
on
still
the
using
other side?
closer.
Okay.
Yep, they're still using, and it's crazy because the T1 owner came out and said that because the fans love Faker over there, man. He's a big time celebrity over there.
Yeah, man.
They were getting death threats about him not starting.
Wow.
So he came out and said, none of that. Let's settle down. And that he's trying to earn his starting spot back. But I don't think there's any reason for them to go back to him right now because they're playing way more aggressive. They're winning matchups more handily. Teddy, like we had mentioned the last time they were on the slate, he's playing out his mind. He's had 90 plus in their last three out of the last 4 wins. So he's a pretty strong play. So whatever it is about Closer's game, they seem to rally around him and play a lot stronger.
Yeah, good news for them.
I'm on the Damwon Gaming side. Nuggery, this is the type of situation where if you play 2 favorites, you can't run an ADC or mid. We were pretty successful last week. 3 of the 4 LCK slates, we did double top, so a top captain. I'll probably be doing that today with Nuggery. He has 150 kills, so you see he's had some big series the last couple of weeks, and he's actually taken the kill lead on his team. So you don't see a top laner lead their team in kills very often.
Yeah, I want to make sure that nobody in the chat thinks we're talking about anything kinky when we're saying double top here, guys. Okay, let's stick to League of Legends. But we're keeping it entertaining for you. We're staying on topic. So rounding out this LCK, you're saying you can't play favorites, 2 gamers. So double top's kind of where you're leaning there. Who's your favorite in the team slot, man? I want to ask you that real quick.
Team slot. So I got to decide if I want to go the KT route or if I want to go Africa. Right now I'm leaning Africa, so they're probably going to be the team spot that I roll. I'm going to stay away from the T1 DWG spot because I feel like, if their teams, it's going to be really even. I feel like they're going to take objectives from each other back and forth, and whoever wins the Africa series, I feel like it's going to be a 2-0 either way, and they're going to be way out in front. So I favor Africa right now.
Okay, good deal. So talk to me a little bit in the other slate. We have the 4 p.m. Excuse me, I'm Central Time. 4 p.m. slate, the split slate that we have 3 gamer. Tell me a little bit about what to expect there.
Yeah, so more LCS games. Majority. There's this FlyQuest versus C9. C9 had a dominant spring split where they just kind of ran through the season and they won the playoffs pretty easily. They're actually facing a FlyQuest team that had a little issues in the beginning of the summer slate. They were trying out a different their academy ADC MASH was starting over Wild Turtle. And now going back to Wild Turtle, they're playing a very aggressive style. This patch that we're on right now favors aggressive teams. FlyQuest plays super aggressive. They push team fights early. And C9, they haven't really looked that good this split. So I actually think that FlyQuest, I haven't quite pulled up the odds yet. I'm sure see what C9's favored. But I think FlyQuest actually could take this series, something like a 3-1, 3-2. So I'll have more in-depth stats for that on the article in the morning for you guys. But that's kind of where I'm leaning there. And then in the LEC, it's SK Gaming versus Schalke. And if you guys don't know about Schalke, they were in last place heading into the last 3 weeks of the season. They call it, on YouTube, it's the Miracle Run. There's a whole video about it. But they ended up winning out. They needed a couple of teams to lose, a couple of teams to win.
Right.
They needed like 8 or 9 scenarios to make the playoffs, and every single one of them hit. So they're kind of, and a lot of people in Europe like them. So I like SK Gaming personally. Crown Shot is a really good ADC. It's a very high kill ADC. But I don't know if I can bet against the Miracle Run here. So Schalke was a team that all split we would stack against, get high fantasy points, but they're playing like the real deal right now. They moved to Gilius in the jungle, and everybody calls him the God, Gawd, Gilius, and he's been a totally game changer for them. So this is gonna be a close series. Definitely think it'll be like 3-2 either way it goes, and I got to lean SO4 on that.
Yeah,
And then the
I
last
like.
one is TO. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I think that's awesome that they're covering every slate pretty much on Prize Picks too.
Yeah.
You know, that we're not just LPL, LCK. You know, that you'll have your LCS, you have your LEC games and stuff like that. So I think that's really cool that they're adding those on there. So just more for us to play throughout the day and everything like that. So, anyways, I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, and it's cool because we get a little bit of multi days. It's nice. Sorry, someone's on there. Multi-day slates. Will become CBLOL playoffs will be coming up soon. But to round out
Right.
this slate, Team Liquid versus Golden Guardians. Golden Guardians upset TSM. There was a lot of people don't like TSM. So the LOL community on Twitter is very vocal. They were talking a lot about TSM. TSM series against Dig. The losers brackets are still alive. This is should be a fairly close matchup. Team Liquid has been really good. They're the they have Broxa, who used to play for Fnatic. They're a really well coached team.
Yeah.
Well, going to be the one to target because be focused on objectives, slower.
Right. Yeah.
Spot
Okay. Got it.
Hills, Aaron, Dragons. So that'll be the game to maybe just take your team spot and not go all in and try to focus on Fly Quest, which is a higher kill series, and Schalke. That's how I approach it.
Good deal, man. Yeah. So just want to kind of close out, man. Like I said, this content is available at our website, yourfieldofchoice.com. There's multiple things, obviously, for you to dig into here. If you've ever seen any of Walt's write-ups, they're very detailed. There's going to be cheat sheets associated with a lot of this stuff, so we're going to be able to follow, things like he said, like recency bias, where a team like Schalke or something like that is going to be somebody you're going to want to jump on. You're not going to know this by digging into the numbers or game logs necessarily, so he's here to steer you in the right direction there. So, Walt, man, I know you got some League of Legends content coming out tonight. You obviously got NBA tomorrow. We appreciate you spending some time with us. I do want to kind of tease a little bit. I know we've been talking about these chats and everything, but with playoffs right around the corner, we need to make that happen, man. Me and you can jump in. Our Discord's free. We can definitely just do some audio stuff for you guys as well. This is a benefit to being part of the community. You're going to be able to find a lot of these things. So we want to make sure to give you top-notch quality. Bear with us, obviously. It being a later stream, you can play this back and will be available on YouTube as well. So, Walt, man, I appreciate you, brother. I know you still got a little bit of time being on the West Coast and, spend a little time with me here, man. I hope you have a good night, man. And is there anything else before we go?
No, that's it. We'll definitely, I'll get together with you and we'll do some chats.
Yeah, let's do it.
This
Who's the best player in the world?
Absolutely, man. I would love that. So we're going to transition over into MLB. Pete, we do appreciate Walt spending some time with us here. With that, in MLB, obviously, we're sweating that currently. Here in the chat, with MLB, I think that it's one of our most followed sports because I think that it's just that time of the year. Everybody's in baseball mode, but we have NBA going on. We have NHL going on. You have year-round soccer. You got WNBA, League of Legends. It's crazy, man, to know that we have all this stuff. I feel like it's like super hard for us to kind of focus, but we have to make it a priority to get you guys this information. And Pete, welcome in, man. Thanks for being patient. How you doing? How's your sweat going?
What's up, guys? Well, Kyle Tucker just hit his second triple, so.
Did you have him? I had him.
No, I don't have him, but I have Springer who's 0 for 3.
Look at that.
Tucker just had his third triple.
I wore it just for you, buddy. I wore that.
One thing I do find interesting though is I was just looking. Tonight was a big game between the two stud rookies, the two big pitchers.
Yeah.
And this is kind of cool. They both Dunning pitched 4.1 innings, 7 Ks, gave up 3 runs.
Okay.
Go back to Mize. Mize pitched 4.1 innings, 7 Ks, gave up 3 runs. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and I think that even kind of mentioned that they put Mize, who I've known about if following NBA prospects for years, as a guy that we've been, wanting to come up and move up and everything like that in dynasty leagues and whatnot. But he was actually available on Prize Picks, so it's cool that they're actually kind of picking up there. And I think he was super low; it was like a 15 prop or something like that. But anyways, I want to talk about the MLB slate. I want to talk about tomorrow. I want to talk about what we have on deck. So give me a little bit of a rundown of what to expect tomorrow for MLB.
All right, tomorrow we have 7-game slate. Yeah, but I think it's like a 4-game slate starting at 1, but the main slate, which we concentrate on, is 7 games. That starts at 7 p.m. And to me, it looks like it's going to be a pitcher slate. We got some really, I guess we do say we have elite pitchers. I mean, Bieber is an elite pitcher. So we have like 4 or 5 good pitchers and like maybe 2 or 3 good offensive teams. But mainly it's a pitcher slate tomorrow. It could be pretty fun.
Yeah, man. And you mentioned Shane Bieber. I know me and you had talked a little bit off camera, but we are both just enamored with how well he's pitching this year, just from a strikeout perspective and just control, command. This guy is really top notch right now. And we were talking a little bit with Devin before that. This Cleveland Indians staff, man, if they can get their bats going, they can be dangerous, especially if Clevenger decides to come back and pitch to his potential. So tell me a little bit about Shane Bieber and why he is one of your favorites, if not the favorite tomorrow.
He's by far the favorite tomorrow night. I mean, he's the stud of the slate. He's got a 7.5 over under. I mean, he's 3rd in the league with 1.30 ERA. He's leading the league in strikeouts, 54 strikeouts. 34 inning pitch. He's only walked 6 batters, I think. So he's facing the Pirates, who right now are terrible, and they're one of the worst teams right now in the league against right-handed pitchers. They have a 236 WOBA, 125 ISO as a team. So I mean, there's only one player on that team who's kind of dangerous against Rays. That's probably Josh Bell. So you pitch around him, and it's pretty easy coasting for Bieber the rest of the night. Yeah,
and in my pitching article tomorrow on the mound, he's going to be the top guy for me. I mean, I get this pricing is there, but a lot of times the highest priced guys are not the obvious plays, but Bieber's awesome, man. I think that over the last 2 seasons, he has a 3.05 xFIP, which is a stat I pay a lot of attention to. That really can tell you if somebody it's real or not. And a lot of times I'll pick these guys as like, I just don't believe in it. I think he's going to get blown up. And you find out like they just had a good start, but their FIP or xFIP is telling you that there's smoke and mirrors there. 31.8% K rate, 14.7% swinging strike rate. And the guy's just, I mean, I think his ground ball rate's like 45. That's about middle of the road. But I mean, they're not hitting him hard, really. I mean, I do see some hard contact in there, but the exit velocity average seems kind of low. It's dipping right under 90. He's pitching a lot better this season, so I'm definitely going to be all over the guy. Is there any other guy to look at in the pitching category for you?
Yeah, I mean we have a good bunch of pitchers tomorrow. Like we have Woodruff, Sonny Gray's pitching tomorrow in a good spot. Lamette is pitching, but I think actually I'm going to probably go with my second favorite is Kershaw. I mean, it's not the Clayton Kershaw that we all knew and grew up with, but he's still winning. He's 2-1 this year. He's got 2.65 ERA. Obviously, he's got 18 strikeouts and only 3 walks, so
right.
0.82 WHIP. So I mean, Bieber's got a 0.72 WHIP. So I mean, Kershaw's right behind him, and he's facing a Mariner team that's not hitting either. I mean,
right.
Yeah, they're playing in Seattle, but they're not. I mean, they have a 174 batting average against lefties. Kershaw's a lefty, so I mean, it's 3 bats probably Seattle that could maybe hurt Kershaw. It's Seager, Aaron Noel, who's one of our brand favorites. We like to play every night in our cash lineups. And Dylan Moore is the only one that's really hitting lefties this year. So get around those 3, and it's another good game. I think Kershaw and Bieber are top pitchers on the slate tomorrow night. Sorry.
Yeah, and kind of looking at it a little bit, just digging in. There's not a whole lot of guys down low that I feel that are safe or that I feel like are going to be smash values. I do want to talk about I want to talk about one guy here because it kind of transitions us a little bit into our hitter segment. But going against the Baltimore Orioles, I know that we have Nate Eovaldi, and the guy is starting to turn back into the gas can Nate, man. He had a rough outing this last time. We know that he relies heavily on his fastball. Against the Yankees, he went negative. He still got 89 pitches in. I just think that he's one of those guys right now that Boston doesn't have a lot of options, and they need guys to eat up innings. Baltimore's hitting hot. One of their their best guys that they have right now that's just absolutely smashing the ball is Anthony Santander. I know that's our Mike Miz 23, one of his favorite bats. But the Orioles, I think it's one of those things, man. We kind of talk about, numbers and how they translate. I think this is kind of getting to the point of the season where a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing, I really feel like it's a real thing. You know what I mean? Where you can kind of start to rely a little bit more on this season. I still think it's too small of a sample size. Usually you want to try to get like 90 games in with the most MLB seasons, but
Right.
we have a shortened season, so we have to really kind of, deal with what we got here. So Anthony Santander, I really like him a lot tomorrow at the bat section. You talked about pitching. You're not overly concerned with anybody else here. Transitioning over to bats, if you want to go different positions, how do you want to cover bats, Pete?
Well, pretty much I'm looking at 2 games tomorrow for bats and jump right back on Eovaldi. I'm right at the O's team. And I think the O's in a great spot. I mean, like we said, Eovaldi's last game out was against the Yankees. He got rocked, pitched 5 innings, gave up 9 hits, 8 runs, not 5 runs.
Yeah.
So, and they're going right back to this young Oriole team, and you go right from the beginning. Chance Cisco's leading off now, and right from Cisco down to Ruiz. I mean, every one of these guys are studs. I mean, Cisco's lead with 439, 267, ISO.
Yep.
Then you go right into Santander, who we all know what he's doing. I mean, this kid's he's 3rd in the league in home runs. He's got 9 home runs. 2nd in the league in ribbies, 25 ribbies. And nobody even knows about him. I mean, he's still like 5% home seems like every game. So, I mean, he's double 12 games this year. He's double digits in 10 of the 12 games. I mean, the guy's a complete stud. And this is the craziest number. He's got a 450 WOBA and a 430 ISO this season.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's actually against righties, and Eovaldi's a righty. So,
Right.
and this runs right into, Ruiz and Nunez, and that's a stacked team right now. Every one of those guys is stacked.
Yeah, I was going to say it's crazy because I thought whenever they didn't have Jonathan VR anymore, I thought that they were going to struggle because I was like, he was just always a power speed combo threat, switch hitting up at the top of the lineup that I really liked last year. And they had some guys. I think that they held on to a couple guys a little bit too long, and they didn't give some of these younger guys a shot right away. But they don't have. I mean, they didn't have much to lose, and look what happened. They put these guys in a mix of youth and veterans in, and you don't have to. They're not playing Chris Davis a lot, so that's always a good thing. I'm sure he's still getting paid by the Orioles. He's got one of those Bobby Bonilla contracts. Yeah,
he will. And we're not even talking. We still got Hanser Alberto and guys like Dwight Smith still. I mean, in the middle of the orders. So I mean, it's a young team, it's an exciting team. So I mean, I'm going to start playing them pretty much every night, especially when you're going up against a right-handed pitcher.
Absolutely, brother. So tell me, you like that spot for that game? What are some other spots you're looking at in regards to hitting?
The other game I like is the Angels. I know everybody's been talking about how Kevin Gossman has like turned over a new leaf this year, but if you really look at it, he's starting to see his old ways. I mean, he's getting strikeouts. His whip's at 1.17. I mean, he could do better than that, but he's got 34 Ks in 25 innings. He did strike out 11 A's when he went out his last game in 5 innings, but tomorrow night, look at that A's lineup once again. Right start top with Fletcher, who puts the bat in the ball every at bat, every game.
Yeah.
Right to Stella, who's going on back-to-back home run days. Then goes right to Trout, who's having a Trout year. Hits home run every other game. And then probably who's one of my top bats also tomorrow. And also it's our guy Wes Pickwick's his big home run pick of the day is Anthony Rendon. And I think Rendon's going to hit a home run tomorrow. He had a little streak. We had 4 homers in 4 straight games and 5 in his last 8. So the Angels are in a huge spot tomorrow night.
Yeah, I agree, man. Kind of looking, at Gausman. I mean, obviously, if you're looking at this season's numbers, you're going to be like, oh, he's got a 3.26 xFIP, 31.8% K rate, 14.5% swinging strike rate. Like, all of those are amazing. But the fact is that the guy traditionally, if he's not getting his strikeouts, he's going to struggle. The Angels don't strike out a lot. They just have guys that are more disciplined. I mean, you're looking at Jason Castro might be your weak link and maybe some Ohtani, but everybody else has a sub 20% strikeout rate. I think Trout this season maybe is striking out a little bit more, but traditionally he doesn't strike out a lot. I mean, I say a lot, 22% for him is a lot, I guess. But, just looking at the stats and everything, there's a lot of, I guess, a good opportunity for them to really just bang doubles and hits down the line. They don't have to hit home runs to hit this guy around to get to that bullpen. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of the lineup we get out tomorrow. I know I was really big on Tom Stella today. I played him in my main lineup. I just think he's just a great hitter, hits for power. Even the guy down at the bottom, Brian Goodwin, nobody's playing him right now. He's 3K today,
No.
and he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, he should be up in the order. I was just talking with Devin, and I think it's about that earlier. He should be up in the order, and he's batting ninth. So it's a good lineup.
Yeah,
George
absolutely.
Springer just had a double, so at least I don't get a big on him tonight.
There you go. Me neither, brother. I had him also with you. So tell me another spot. I know you do like a couple other plays, a first baseman play that you really like. Tell me about him.
Yeah, the other play I like, and I do have that. I have to call the sneaky play of the day, and it's been pretty reliable. I mean, we've had some big nights in some of my picks. I'm not sure if this is going to be one of them, but he's kind of leaning on that sneaky angle a little bit. But it's Mitch Moreland for the Red Sox. He's going against Asher Roche. How do you ever say it? Wojciechowski.
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 That's Mike Wazowski, bro. We're talking about Asher Wojciechowski.
Asher Wojciechowski was a lefty, and I mean, Moreland can definitely. I mean, he's hitting 306, 6 homers and 12 ribbies, and only 36 at bats. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, see,
Wow.
he can. It's all against righties, and he's got a 494 WOBA, 556 ISO. He's hired. He's got a salary to hit right-handers. So, and that's what he's gonna do tomorrow night. So he's one of my main picks, and then that's a good stack game actually. Once again, stack the Red Sox game. Every time the Red Sox play, stack them up, stack the game up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually astonished. I was just looking at his numbers. He had like a 1238 OPS. I mean, which I'm sure is a lot against righties, but I mean, that's insane. Like to see that. I mean, yeah, that's a spot for sure. Do you like any? Yeah, do you like any other Red Sox with him?
Nah, I'm mostly on the Orioles. I mean, Moreland pretty much jumped out at me, so I still got a lot more digging in to do. But right now, I'm all over Moreland.
Yeah, agree. I was kind of looking, and I'm one of those guys, especially with stacks. And I know Miz in his Miz Matches GPP article uses this a lot, but looking at bullpens and stuff like that, and just kind of digging in regards to GPP stacks. I will say that the Orioles, no surprise because they're more right-handed heavy, struggle against left-handers. So there's a good chance we may get Moreland 4 at bats. It would be something we would be appealing to us more, because I mean 3 would be great, especially if he gets 2 against the starter. But if we can get 4 at bats from that guy at that price and that value, I think that's the place to go.
Actually, you know what? Just kind of popped up on my screen. Who actually probably is good value in that game is, as long as he's leading off, is Alex Vertigo. I mean, his last game, he was 1 for 4, but he had a double. So Vertigo, and maybe Rafael Devers, he's another lefty. He's maybe waking up. He had a big game 2 nights ago too, and he's 2 for 5. So I mean, it's probably gonna be a high-scoring game tomorrow night.
Yeah,
so Vertigo's those 2 games.
Yeah, I was gonna say Vertigo's a stud. They finally DraftKings got smart and they priced him up to 4,400, which isn't it's not overkill, but he was sitting in that 3.4, 3.3 range, and he would just kept hitting, and they didn't change him until the series was ending. So
yeah, and Devers is 4.3. So.
Yeah, hey,
that's pretty much what I got for tomorrow's slate.
All right, man. Well, hey, listen, I appreciate you. I know your top plays article. You're contributing a lot to our prize picks, MLB. Me and you obviously bounce a lot off of each other in regards to lineup buildings. But before we kind of talk about anything else other than MLB and kind of close out with that, I want to talk a little bit about your chats in our free Discord. I know a lot of them are free in our YFC public chat. And what can they expect from the chats in regards to lineup building, and what are some things you like to cover in those?
Actually, in the chats, we try to do them 2 hours before lock, and it used to be me and Miz, who does the GPP picks, and Wes, who does a lot of GP picks also. He's the big home run guy. He won last year's FanDuel tournament, the home run tournament. So we got, a good 3 group of guys here and all different skill sets between cash games and GBP. And pretty much we just go over, we go over ownership, we go over BBP, we go position by position. We each have our picks on our pitchers. And it usually, and by the time it's over, we built a cash lineup. So it's, but we also give this plenty of other options. We got plenty of other one-offs and pivot. So, it goes for about half hour. It's I mean, it's pretty popular and it's free 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah. And so kind of just to partner along with what you're saying, having those chats, having these top play articles, we do have an MLB cheat sheet as well that we have out there. I know we talked a little bit earlier about the cheat sheets, and there's actually video right now we have on our YouTube. If you go ahead and like and subscribe, we would greatly appreciate that. But it kind of walks through how to, basically navigate the cheat sheets and what to, look at and say, okay, well, this is how I need to, I guess, apply this information and this knowledge. So that article, like I said, the cheat sheet does have a lot of useful information. That video runs you through the basics. It's essentially a 101 of how to work that. And it just kind of gives you a little bit of insight of where we lean on certain things. Like I said, we target certain plays based off of the numbers, and numbers matter. So, MLB, it's one of those sports that we all have a passion to play. I appreciate you, Pete, for kind of leading us through that.
One more thing that cheat sheet has been crushing too. I mean, we looked at it last night, and so it's the last 3 nights. If you play the cheat sheet, you play the plays in there, you're going to cash. So
yeah. It was pretty much an auto cash. You just kind of had to open it up, look who was green, and just play those guys, and you're going to cash. And that happens more often than not. I think one of the things that we mentioned ownership, we mentioned chalk a lot of the times. I'm one of those guys that I really deep into the numbers, and if I see somebody who's high owned, I'm like, I ain't going to play this guy. But it is good to acknowledge that, because if 50 to 60% of the people are going to have them in their cash lineups, there's a little bit of an advantage. And with your chats, you're identifying those as well. Like, this guy's going to gain ownership. And I know we cover ownership, we cover weather, and weather's a big deal. It happened today. I mean, we had a postponement game, the Nats and the Braves. Like, the Nats are just a quick response with that postponement right after lock. That was brutal. But we kind of talked about it in the chat. We mentioned that. We posted some screenshots of some things, and these are things that are available to our people. And in. So like I said, jump in if you're not already in. It's a free Discord. This is Pete, and he covered our MLB. Pete, I appreciate you, man. Enjoy your sweat tonight.
No problem.
And thanks for spending some time with us in regards to MLB.
All right, thanks, guys.
So with transitioning from MLB, we're going to, before we close, I do want to mention a little bit. We do have a quick graphic in regards to our soccer content. Right now we have Champions League soccer. We have, with Europa League, we're about to start right back up. Soccer's year round. You have MLS soccer as well, but there's a graphic on the screen that kind of gives you a little bit of a preview of what to kind of expect from our articles. It is literally as simple, just like Devin said with the cheat sheet, it's a color-coded thing. You have plays that are I guess you can call them core plays. Essentially, they're set takers, which are more of the preferred plays. They do a lot more for their team. They're the playmaker, I guess you could say that, for a soccer team. And about how we approach DFS soccer, there's a lot of things in regards to goalies, lineup buildings, and whatnot. You'll see the diagrams are color-coded, so you have those player pools available to you. You can literally go in there and say, I want to make a cash lineup for this showdown. Well, you just dig in and you say, okay, well, the diagram's pretty easy to look at and learn. And once you're in there, you see a game breakdown, who the preferred plays are, and what the expectation is for the game, in addition to prize picks plays at the bottom. So if you're not in with our soccer content, our Major League Baseball content, WNBA, League of Legends, and of course, NBA, we have a lot more to offer. We cover all sports, golf, tennis, all niche sports, and we have NFL coming up. We're excited for that. I do want to mention real quick, we do have an affiliation with PointsBet. PointsBet is a DFS company that does offer a new way to wager. The more you bet, and I guess the more you wager against the spread, the more you're going to win. At pointsbet.yourfielderschoice.com right now, we're offering a free, risk-free bet up to $1,000. The link's available on our website. The promo is currently only for New Jersey residents. You do have to be 21 years of age. So if you're not currently living in New Jersey and you want to move there just to play PointsBet, we're not going to say anything about that. You should do that. I mean, if that's in the cards for you. But if not, that's okay. But PointsBet, check us out, yourfielderschoice.com. Just to remind you one more time, our Discord is absolutely free, but you can jump in right now with our 20% promo. Right now, you're getting that $40 a month for premium. And, guys, this is the time to jump in. We appreciate you. You're listening to us on the way to work. Thank you, yourfielderschoice.com. This is Adam. Check out our Twitter handles at the bottom. Pete, Devin, Miz. excuse me, Walt. Miz is sleeping. Walt, thank y'all for being with us, and we y'all guys have a good night.
German whips, fancy cars, they play the game, but they know who the champions are. Every time we pull up, it's like a damn bazaar. They scream our name, try to get us on the camera. Flashing lights, though I ain't the flashy type. I just push a big whips with the fastest pipes. Can't match his price. Model nigga catch for life, but I still never pay the full package price and fuck the law.